said there seemed to be some technical difficulty with tape 1 on side 2. Just the record button just simply would not go down on that. So I'll have to expend 2 tapes here. I think I was telling you about the upcoming events or activities that we're going to be engaged in as far as weekends are concerned. September 22nd weekend, the commandant from the school from back home will be here, and I'll be his sponsor or host. So that will be a busy weekend. And then the following weekend will be somewhat relaxed. And then the following weekend, I go down to Thursday and Friday. I go down to High Wycombe, the American High School, TDY. I'll be back Saturday. Have most of the weekend back here, I guess, to relax. And then the following weekend, October 13th and 14th, we'll be down at Burtonwood, which is an Army base near Manchester, not too far away, but spending the weekend there, and I'll be running the 2-day seminar there that I'd done before here on assertiveness training. Beg your pardon? Yeah. And so then Nancy and the kids will go along, and they'll be able to look around that area a little bit while I'm doing the seminar. And then the following week, during the week, I'll be running a management seminar in-house internally from Monday through Friday. And then the 20th, we'll take off and go down to Stratford. This time to spend a little bit more time because we have tickets for the, I don't know if I mentioned this on the other side before I changed over or not, but we have tickets for a play for Nancy and myself on Saturday, the 20th of October, to see The Merry Wives of Windsor performed by the Royal Shakespeare Company. And we've been looking forward to doing that sort of thing before. We'll have a little bit more time to spend in Stratford. I know that'll break Mother's heart when she hears that because she'll think of all those gift shops in Stratford. Right? Anyhow, then from there we'll just go on south and see some things that we haven't seen before, perhaps south of London, maybe Windsor Castle and a couple places down that way. Well, Warwick, of course, is by Stratford. We'll try to spend some time and see that. As you may recall, we were thinking about that. We just didn't have enough time before. I don't think, in fact, of the things we had our choices of, I think we really did do the things that were most interesting. If you have lots of time and what have you, then it's nice to go to some of these castles. But I think you were castled out anyhow by that time. And I do think that everybody enjoyed being able to get to Shakespeare's birthplace. Everybody enjoyed that. And then I think that we did enjoy the opportunity to go to Churchill's birthplace and the gravesite as well. Anyhow, we'll be going down that way for a few days. Have off that week, actually, since Robin's off out of school that week, the 22nd of October for a week. And let's see what else. Oh yes, we're scheduled to go to Athens. I don't know if I mentioned this again on the other side before cut off or not. I had to retape the last part to tell you to switch over to the tape 2 here. But anyhow, Nancy and I are scheduled to go to Athens in November 28th through December 2nd for 4 or 5 days. And looking forward to that in a way, but not looking forward to it another way because I don't like to fly, as you know. And then, let's see, around Christmas time, New Year's Eve, we have a booking at the Holiday Inn at Newcastle, which is really just a nice opportunity to get away and stay in a nice motel that the kids might enjoy. And Robin especially will enjoy the Holiday Inn. Well, I think Becca will too. And that'll take care of this year. And then next year we're looking ahead to maybe going to Oberammergau for the Passion Play, which is performed once every 10 years. As I say, I may be repeating myself. I can't remember whether that was on the other side. I don't want to take the time to go back and check it. But that's quite an event, and one we've never been to, of course, because it's only once every 10 years it's done. So we really want to take advantage of that opportunity and go to that next year. And then spend more time at some of the Armed Forces Recreation Centers at Garmisch, and at Berchtesgaden. And if we're at Garmisch for 3 or 4 days, then of course we can just pop down to Imst or to Lermoos, or perhaps even down to just northern Italy for the day or something like that if it's not too far. And then when we go over to Berchtesgaden, we can go over into Salzburg, Vienna. Well, of course, you remember what's there at Berchtesgaden. That's what we hope to do next summer, or next spring, rather. I just asked Robin if she'd like to say anything, and she said, just tell Bobby to come over to play Monopoly, because she doesn't have anybody to play Monopoly with. And that's because I'm the retired champion. I just decided not to come out of retirement, stay retired, mainly because I am very tired. Ha 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 ha. Nancy says yes, everything's tired out. all petered out, as they say.
Teacher, Mr. Slayton. He has red hair. He's tall, he has red hair, and he has a beard, and his hair is real curly. Jeez, Mom. He's sort of straight, but not really straight. But you know, he yells at you if you do anything wrong. Of course, every teacher does anything. What?
Choir?
What about it?
Enjoying the choir?
Hmm? What else is there?
Tell them about the choir.
I don't know anything about it. I mean, wow, I might be joining. What happened these days? I am. Should I turn that way? I slept over at my friend Jackie's last night, and Bobby's girlfriend as well. We walked to church. Nothing much happened.
How about the fair? I forgot to tell them about the fair.
What fair?
You didn't go, did you?
What fair?
There was a fair, carnival. It rides and so forth. It was the week after you left to go back to the States. I forgot to tell you about that. And we drove. I made a horrible mistake of driving down that way one night with Becca in the car, and she saw that. And so she just drove us crazy until we went to the fair, and guess who had to take her? Well, as it turns out, I had a good time taking her. But it was just she and her dad, and I rather enjoyed that. She went on all these rides and had a good time. And then later, she wanted to go back, and Nancy and Robin were going to take her back, but the thing was gone, wasn't it? It was over? Oh, yeah, it was during the day in the afternoon, and it wasn't open until the evening. Okay, another break here, I think, for a few minutes. Well, let's see. It's now 7:45, and we're waiting to see a movie, The Incredible Journey of Meg Laurel, or something like that, with Lindsay Wagner, about her being a doctor in Appalachia. And it occurred to me to just maybe make a few comments, like, as I mentioned before, that we were kind of down in the dumps there right after Mom and Dad and Bobby left, because it had been kind of exciting having them here, and we very much enjoyed their company, and then all of a sudden they were gone. And, just a couple of things I can still remember, picture and, fleeting moments of things like Bobby running around here and enjoying himself at Lightwater Valley. I remember that. And of course in London. And I can still picture Mom and Dad getting off the train in Leeds at 2 o'clock in the morning on the way back from the trip. And here I thought they'd be really frazzled and worn out, and they wanted to stop and have a cup of tea. So we must have really converted them into tea drinkers. But they enjoyed that train ride up, Mother especially, because she just had so much entertainment from some of those that had been drinking a little bit. And I just remembered some of those pleasant thoughts and all of the things that we did around the area. I had made out a list. I don't have it with me right now. It's upstairs, I guess, but I don't think I have to go into that anyhow because I think Mom and Dad and Bobby were pretty good about keeping up a diary, and with the tapes we sent back and telling you what was going on, I think we have a pretty good record of what went on. But on the list of things that I had made out before they came over, of the things that I thought they might like to do, I think we just about did every one of them, and then some. There were some that we added after they got here that I hadn't thought about or that had come up. But it was quite an enjoyable visit that we had with them. As I say, we did quite a bit of a few different things, all the way from the medieval banquet, which I enjoyed, and I think that everybody seemed to enjoy pretty well. It was certainly something different. All the way to such things as going out to Brimham Rocks and Fountains Abbey, and Grassington, and Skipton Castle, and City of York, and of course London, Edinburgh, Blenheim, Stratford, out to dinner at the Bay Horse Inn. I guess probably the single most important thing that they did while they were here, as far as I was concerned, I have a selfish reason, of course, but that was to attend the baptism or the christening of this little fellow I have in my arms right now who's asleep. As I was particularly pleased to have them here for that event, that occasion. And by the way, I may have mentioned before, but it would certainly be inappropriate to say anything like that about the christening or baptism to Nancy's mother, because I think it might make her feel a little badly. But I was particularly happy that Mom and Dad and Cousin Bob were able to attend that event. And of course, copies of those two pictures we got from that are included with the group I'm sending you. They didn't turn out as well as far from a photographer's point of view. They were at the end of the film, at the end of the roll, evidently, but they still turned out, and they served the purpose as far as I'm concerned. They have on film a memory of that event. So anyhow, all kinds of those different sorts of activities that took place. Even Mother sitting in a pub at Squinting Cat, even though she didn't have her pint of bitter. I think everybody really had a good time. And I do hope that everything's going well over there. As you can probably tell, I'm a little pooped out right now. Just sitting here relaxing. And Robin's up taking a bath. Becca's still zonked out. I noted, I think, at our party the other night, Friday night, she just wouldn't wind down until everybody had left, which is about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I think that's finally caught up with her now. And Nancy's out in the kitchen still trying to get caught up and cleaning up after the party on Friday. It's not that there's been so much to do. It's just a matter of done some other different things and just haven't gotten around to doing some of these things like cleaning up. So I'll take another break for now. Today is September 17th, 1979, and it's now 10 past 11 p.m. And it seems as though there's something wrong with the recorder because we had recorded over this part earlier, and I was just playing it back to check it. And in fact, Nancy had recorded, so I'm going to have to ask her to do it over again since we missed it. I suspected I had it on all day from yesterday's taping and wore the batteries out. Now I'm operating under electrical current. So, what are those technical difficulties? I hope you're a little bit more awake than I am right now. And I shall check this portion out to see how it worked.
Good morning. It is now 6:25 a.m. and I'm doing this tape for the second time. For some reason last night it didn't take. Bob said the batteries had worn down, but this seems to happen about every time with this recorder. I wonder if there's some malfunction or something, because I had gone off last night to a harvest church supper at another small church in town. And I had done this right before I left. Actually, our minister, strangely enough, services both churches. They seem to do that over here for some reason. They move around quite a bit and preach at different churches so that you may hear your own minister maybe once every 3 or 4 weeks. Well, this was a real tiny church, and it was kind of nice. I was kind of curious to see what their church suppers were like, and it was similar to their teas. A lot of little tiny cakes and little bread with butter on it. They did have some sausage rolls, which is a little piece of sausage and some pastry, and a couple of quiches, which they call them flans. But anyway, it's quite windy as usual, although it looks like it's going to be a nice bright day. Today I'm starting a sewing class in tailoring, which I don't know, I hope I don't regret. But I thought I could learn a lot. So I'll quickly drop back off at school, and I do have to stop in town and get a pattern, and a friend of mine is giving the course, so she's going to have it at her home, so I'll just take the baby with me. So that should prove to be interesting. I've also joined a gourmet club. I've been on the waiting list for some time, and they just had a vacancy. So we've had our first meeting already, and we had a very nice luncheon. We meet once a month, and there are 24 women in the group, and each month 6 do the cooking. And there's quite a bit of work that goes into it. They prepare hors d'oeuvres and quite often a wine of the region. In other words, last week was Italian day, so we had some little, almost like little pizzas that was supposedly a coveted recipe of a well-known Italian restaurant in Knaresborough, and of course they refused to give out the recipe, and some English friend of one of the women happened to say, "Oh, well, I've got that recipe. It was in the newspaper several years ago." So we had that and some Italian wine, and then the luncheon, which was quite good. And each month has a different theme, French and Greek and so on. And then twice we'll have the husbands, once for International Night and then the Christmas party. But coincidentally, I had signed up for a cooking course, which I probably wouldn't have done if I had realized all of this was going to happen at the same time. But I thought, well, might as well go ahead with it. It's a cordon bleu, which is a French cooking course. This girl who is giving it took the course in Paris. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. We have to do so much preparation, taking so much equipment out to the base on Saturday morning, and all the ingredients. We're going to start off making a quiche and some little fruit tarts. I don't know. I was getting this stuff ready, and we really do have to take a lot of stuff along. So that's what's going on right at this very moment. I think Bob did mention to you that my parents have had their problems lately. My mother, of course, having discovered a small lump in her breast about the size of a small pea. This was through an x-ray. Her doctor just suggested it might be a good idea to have an x-ray, and this is what they discovered, although she did go into the hospital and it did turn out to be benign. So she was only in a couple of days. And the day she was operated on, my sister Peggy flew in from the Grand Canyon on her way to Georgia, because David is taking a law enforcement course there for 2 months, and they'll all three be down there. It's in Brunswick, Georgia, until November. And then coincidentally, my brother also flew in on that day for a short visit. So I don't know how long. I don't think they stayed so very long. And then I think the following Wednesday, my father had a stroke. They have since discovered it is a cerebral hemorrhage, which is more or less a stroke anyway. And he's in the hospital still. And I think they're looking around for a nursing home. He is talking, but he's not eating well. He refuses to eat, I think, sometimes, so they're feeding him through his nose. But I think he's making some improvement. So we'll have to just wait and see how he improves on that score. I called my mother a few days ago, and she sounded pretty good on the phone. So I guess she's muddling through. I think Peg had been there for some time, a few weeks even. So that's about it on the home front there. I guess you all are back to normal now. I hope you had a easy time going over. A friend of mine she went over for 6 weeks during the school holiday, and she had a 13-hour layover, delay actually, in Heathrow. And she had a 8-month-old baby with her. Well, I guess at that time he was about 7 months. And she said her arm and back was so tired from holding him during that ordeal that she couldn't pick him up at all the next day. Obviously, she sat part of the time, but she said they kept